Alright, let's talk about video games versus books. I know it's obvious that there is plenty of pros and cons with video games and books, such as you can be more social on video games, while books prevent you from some strange injuries that you can get during video games. But we're not going to talk about that stuff. I would like to zero in on one overall question here. Which offers a better story? We'll get into story elements and how they can be used correctly in video games and books. Afterward, I'll make my conclusion on which one has the best story with the free ease. The free crazy ease to be exact. The most energizing, the most exquisite, and the most exciting story. Yeah, I know that's weird. That's all I can think of. If you come to a different conclusion, please tell me in the comments about which one you think has better story generally, video games or books. You can debate with everyone else down below, and please do not be harsh. Now I'm gonna go get some orange juice while voiceover Bishop Jr. takes the lead.
Video games. There are so many types. I'm so glad we started with this one. And some of them have bad stories, and some of them have good ones. Here's three things that the best of them share. A beginning, which makes sense. An experience, which also makes sense. And satisfaction, which makes sense if it was a good game. Okay, let's start with the beginning. If done correctly, the game can captivate the player quite quick. When you start playing for the first time, all that game wants to do is to hook you into finishing it to the end. It tries to display itself, asking you to continue playing. So if you're playing a tutorial, it leads you through and it shows you new abilities that are supposed to intrigue you. Like I said, this happens relatively fast. It depends on the game, but if you can pick up the controls and objective at the start of playing the game, it can most certainly enthrall you. This leads to the experience aspect. After you have played this game for a while, like maybe 10 minutes, an hour, could be 10 hours if it's a really long game, you will understand just a bit of what is going on, and you'll want more and more and more. As long as the game offers surprises, you will remain playing. Humans like something new. We can't just exist to do the same thing over and over and over again. During this game, you will start to form yourself around this character as well. Don't get me wrong. You all say, I died. Not, the character I'm playing died. So you're calling yourself this character already. While you get comfortable playing this game, you will be more likely to take risks. Risks are an interesting thing in a video game. Sometimes you get super excited about something that wasn't that much of a risk at all. So if you get something done the first time in a video game, you're like, whoa, I just jumped over that cliff. But it wasn't really that hard. If you don't believe me, let me post this small statement. In a video game, what seems to you as a small risk may not be one at all. Think about that. You can just keep playing if you lose said diamonds in Minecraft. It's not like you only had one chance. But when you do lose the diamonds, you get upset and quit the game. So maybe you did have one chance, because you never play Minecraft again and you play some other game like Fortnite. But we will talk about these interesting risks again when we get to the segment about books. The key takeaway here is, when playing a video game in general, you create the story for yourself. You have control. Now that you've played this game, getting this experience, you might ask yourself this type of question: should I keep playing? Everyone likes to be satisfied. In the story sense, if you don't like it, why play? When you play a game, you look for a reward, right? It can't be too easy to play or too hard. Challenge, that's a good word. Pros for the story of video games are speed in the beginning. Also, risks makes you feel like you earned it, so you keep playing. Some cons may be in the fact of the same thing that I just previously said. For the pace, it may be too fast. The risks may cause you to stop playing because they're too hard or too easy. And of course, at the end of playing the game, you might not get a reward you hoped for. You don't understand the game at the beginning, you won't enjoy the experience, and that alters your satisfaction. Okay, I'm going to try talking about books. Wait, since when have I read a book? Uh-oh. Just kidding. I've read some. So, let's talk about beginning. The beginning of books can hook you as well, making you ask questions immediately, if done well. But then, you have to put the effort to read on, which takes a lot of strength. And it's more strength than a video game. Well, it also just depends on how much words you read per minute. Yes, I don't look like I know what RWM is, but all I can say is I probably didn't make it up. Words per minute. Probably real. Now, the beginning can make you walk with the character. And in this case, you get to experience the story like you're following them. And you get to feel their feelings. You may argue that a skilled author makes you feel and experience the character's feelings as your own feelings. But it's not like you literally are the character, as in video games, you're sympathizing with them. I think I said sympathizing right. Sorry, bad pun. This experience is just the tip of the iceberg in the beginning. As you read the adventures of this character, you may see him or her change, doing things they wouldn't have done by a long shot in the first chapter. You might not realize this, but this is true. Here is where these risks return. Risks that a book character takes can be arguably more severe than a video games because they can be actually physically or emotionally or mentally affected by them. Yes, those are a lot of Ellies. Think about all this credit they deserve for these hard decisions that they had to choose over the ones that you did in video games that you could just go back and do a reload and get another life, pay $20,000. Yeah, what happened to the character differs per story, but if they lived through a circumstance that you have or you are going through, perhaps that might boost your confidence. Maybe you sympathized with how the character liked dogs at the start of the book, but then he chose to save his annoying sister instead of the dog when he had to choose one or the other. This might rub off onto you to love your sibling better than your loyal companion, if you were doing that. Look, I needed an example. I'm sorry if I got the dog-sister love ratio wrong. I have never had a dog before, honestly, so I don't know. But on this channel, sisters are going to be loved more than dogs. Sorry, just lost a bunch of viewers. The satisfaction of the book asks the same question. Should I keep reading? Now, you might have to finish the book or video game to be fully satisfied, but at the same time, they can satisfy you along the way. For that big satisfiement. This book character that is hopefully undergoing changes should be doing something that he or she wasn't doing before, like I said previous, but now at the end of the story, all the cards are on the table. You can see that for this character, he may choose this or that. You still don't know. Their values are conflicting. Now, his or her decision is what will satisfy you. Now, if this book is well written, it will hint at this decision throughout the book, either by something that he still can't let go, or through something or someone that makes him see what he values ultimately. It's the dog or the sister. Some mentor or someone shows him that the sister is better. Or in some cases, the dog might be better. I'm not sure. But on this channel, the sister is better. So yeah, you get to see this major decision that can't really unchange itself. It's just one story, but a video game has different stories that you can build off of yourself.
For those of you who are still watching, it's about to get dark. I will now draw on my personal opinion over the story of video games versus books. I understand you probably will come to a different conclusion than me on which one has better story, so you can debate with me all you want in the comments, like I said before. I might look at those comments, I might not. Who knows? Since I like unpacking story stuff on this channel, I guess I'm gonna have to go with books. Sorry. But they're better than video games for this one reason. What the book character does at the end of the book in their ultimate sacrificing way, that actually affects you while you're reading it. Even in the slightest way. Like, I know some books might not affect you as much as like Harry Potter or the Wingfeather Saga, for example. But it whispers into your head, like, maybe you can do that. When you read Narnia and you think about how Aslan sacrificed himself for Edmund, you're thinking about, what can I do for others at the end of the book, in the line of The Witch in the Wardrobe. And the same with other books. You think about, maybe I can do that, or maybe I can help others that way, or do that something. Your experience may not look exactly like the one in the book, but you can feel encouraged in some sense. So that's okay. The things that books do, they refine you with their story. Video games, there's not as much heart to it because you're building yourself up instead of watching a character build themselves up. Because video games, you can reflect with yourself, which is kind of like your own skill. But the book, it's talking about their skill, and then it helps you build up to that. Video games ask for your own abilities to build to the story, but a book takes someone's raw ability and then turns it into something better. And it helps you see that in real life, and you can think, maybe I can do that. So the character in a book turns into something great, but the character in a video game, like, sometimes sometimes the character doesn't really change, kind of. I'm Bishop Jr., this was Fink, and thank you for watching.